Archana here with Divine Soul Resonance, welcoming everyone to my channel with all my love and all my heart. For all my Son fam, welcome, welcome. And if you're visiting my channel for the first time, I welcome you. So, for those who are new, I'm doing these series leading up to 11:11 every single day. I'm going live to talk about the number and the build up of the energy as we are approaching the Stargate portal of 11:11. So today is 11/4, 4th of November, and carrying the vibration of 1, 1, and 4. So I'll just dive a little bit into what this number is and share with you something that is very dear to me towards the end. So let's first start with the number 11 and 4. So what I'm going to look at first is the number 11. The number 11 is really about your life purpose, asking of you to start to align more and more with what you've come here to do. Okay, and I saw 101 on my screen right now. What have you come here to do? So you'll be receiving a lot of downloads, you're receiving a lot of information, you're getting this urge, you're getting the nudge, you're feeling like there's something more. Okay, there's something more to life than what you already have been experiencing, what you already are. For those of you who have already been on this path and you know that this is your life purpose, every time you're beginning to still see the 11:11 or continuing to see the 11:11 or re-beginning to see the 11:11, know that there is another surge of creativity that is going to be birthed through you. So more, if you're interested in knowing deep meanings of 11:11 and why you're seeing the 11s, then watch my pre-made videos, meaning I did like a video about 11:11 and also 111 and all of that. So I don't want to keep repeating that same message, but that was just a super quick one to begin with. Now 4 is carries the vibration of a structure, of a foundation. And 4 also is a heart chakra. So this vibration of 114 is really asking for you to build from what you feel deep in your heart, what is true to you, what you see, what you feel, what you experience, sharing of your gift, sharing of your talent, but what is true to you. Not because that I should do this because it makes money, or I should do this because it looks good, I should do this because of that. Does it ring a bell inside of you? And I saw 2, 4, 2. So 2 2s with a 4 in between. It's showing to me and telling me again is really listening into your heart's wisdom. You know what makes you happy, what brings you fulfillment when you're doing some things, what you're passionate about. So 114 is asking for you to continue to pay attention to the promptings of your heart and to go forth for following your dreams. So does it feel like it's the same message? 111, 112, 113, 114. See, 111 was all about individuality. You're getting all this downloads and it's you birthing through you. Then the 2s were about intuitive guidance and also creating the sense of balance with another person. And the 3s is about being optimistic and being positive, and you're now expressing outward. Up till 112, it's internal, gaining that knowledge, and the 3s are about building with another person with optimism. Now, with a 4, it is solidifying, right? With a 4, it's solidifying. And I talked about this in What Are Your Foundations with the energy of 112. That was because the foundation of 112 totals up to 4. And today's, we already have a 4 as a number and a vibration that it's carrying. So the key things to start thinking about is, what are your foundations? What do you really value? Okay, what are your deep values? What are your truths? What do you stand on? What do you believe? And if you don't know that, it would be a good time to start to reflect as you're preparing for this 11:11 Stargate portal, to start looking at what are your value systems. For some people, a value could be that I like to spend time with family. For another, it could be that I need to be working. Or for another, it could be that commitment comes first versus anything else. For another, it could be there's so many different value systems. Like some people could be like, okay, I value fun over anything else, or I value a work ethic over anything else. So of course, I'm just simply stating these out, but there's so many different value systems And these are the value systems that actually propel us in taking action. And if we can actually look at what our value systems is, you'll begin to recognize and see. For instance, I'll give you my example. One of my high value systems and what drives me, first is personal growth, and second is excellence in work. Excellence. I think I just want to stick with the word excellence, not just in work. So what happens when that becomes as my value system is, whether I'm doing something as a home, at home, I am doing like a family gathering. I would want things to be quote unquote, according to me. I don't want to say perfect, but I'd like to put in my best in that, whether it's the cooking, whether it's the laying out of the table, it is making sure I have the right music and have the ambiance, I've got everything going on. It is not the matter of perfectionism, it's just what makes me feel, it's one of my value systems. So for me, excellence is very high on the level of value systems. Integrity, work ethic, all these are very high value systems. So everything that I'm going to be doing is going to be driven and based on that, right? But also know that as these value systems, as you're looking at these value systems, and I'll probably do I'm thinking of creating a course on it as I'm talking to you, it's just coming to me, is about how to determine your own value systems. But in the meanwhile, Google, because there's a lot of information out there and you can totally get a lot of ideas on how to determine what you value. So what will happen is once you begin to see what your value system is, you'll also notice that there'll be some competing goals that will come in. Okay, you value work ethic. Yes, or you value commitments. Now there's something that came up that required attention. Now what are you going to do? There's going to be some sort of a flexibility that would be required. I don't want to say a compromise, but sometimes a compromise is required. You may, let's say you value like, okay, I want to, achieve certain targets. I want to have a progression at a workplace, but things happen and you are not able to do it. How is that going to kind of play out, or will it kind of disturb your core on who you are? Okay, so start to look at the value systems, and I think for me, I'm going to do 11 before 11. I'll write down the 11 values, but it's definitely going to be in order of 1, 2, 3. If I was to give 1, 2, 3, it should be right off the bat for this is number 1 value in my life, this is number 2. And even for me doing all this work for so long, I was thinking and sitting with that paper hours, I think for the last few days, just kind of mulling over, okay, do I really value this a lot over this? So reflect back. I think it's an amazing exercise to find out. And why am I talking about all of this value system? So I'm going to get to that. It's going to be important as you're receiving this guidance before 11:11. And if you're seeing the 114s or some combinations of 1144, 141, 411, just any of those combinations, know that when you're seeing the number 4 or there's a root in the number sequences that you're seeing that carries the vibration of 4, it's asking about foundation. And when we talk about foundations, where are you planting your feet? Okay, so it's very important. And with this new surge of 11, which is about spiritual enlightenment, which is about spiritual knowledge, which is about receiving the spiritual downloads, is to propel you, to push you to make certain changes, perhaps certain changes that were not in alignment. They were competing goals, or you were going quote unquote off track from your destined path. So that's why people call, on a lighter version, 11:11 is the code of awakening. But what the hell is a code of awakening? The code of awakening is really finding out and reflecting on who you are. What is it that you value? What are you doing in service for another human being? Now we'll just we got that part, right? Now the other aspect is on the heart chakra. Okay, the 4th is the heart chakra. It's about love. It's about how you perceive love. Do you do things because you love them, or do you do things because you have to do them because society has this rule, or so start to pay attention. I'm not going to give you anything, do this, do that, do this, do that. No, you're going to figure that out. You're going to start to tap into what is it that, look around. What are you doing? What makes you irritable? Why are you irritable? Is it because it's forced? Or are you feeling guilty? Are you feeling like somebody's blamed you and therefore you're stuck, etc., etc.? Start to look at the patterns in life. Fours are about also recognizing patterns in life. Once you can recognize the patterns in life, you're going to be able to see what you need to sift out and what you need to solidify. And don't worry if you don't have it all nailed down before 11:11. That's what the surge of 11:11 is going to do. It's going to help you, boom, give you tons of information, tons of spiritual insight that you're going to be able to make these changes and make shifts in your life that are going to be solid, that are going to create solidity in your life of what you're wishing to experience. It's wonderful. We've talked about the whole wonderful dimension of you receiving this intuitive guidance and all these visions. It's amazing, but let's make it happen, baby. Let's make it happen in the here and now, in this reality. And for that, you need to have the foresight, you need to have the leadership, you need to have the courage, you need to be able to face the fears and make changes, take action that you're inspired to. Not because you're forced to, you're inspired to. Now, as you're inspired as this trailblazer to go forth, to make your dreams a reality, there are going to be roadblocks. There are going to be challenges. It is not going to be easy. People are not going to always like you. But are you coming from that place of truth? Are you coming from that place of truth? Is the question you have to ask yourself, right? And that's where the other vibration of 114 is. 4 plus 1, 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 is the energy of balance. 6 is the energy of give and receive in equal measure. So have a look at in your life. Are you giving and receiving in equal measure? Are you giving and receiving in equal measure? I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Okay, I'll talk about this. Are you helping someone? Are you helping and assisting other people when you have a gift and when you're able to? Or are you just focused on your own self? Is there something that you can do for another person? So bring balance in the receiving and the giving. Bring balance in, let's start with work-life balance. Are you giving enough time for your spiritual work as you are for your material work? Okay. So for me to be able to do all this work, I need to be able to meditate. I need to calm my energy. I need to be in solitude and not always be go, 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 not always be with people. So that's what I need, right? To be the best that I can be, my best. Not someone else's best, not someone else who's a spiritual guide and who does all of this, my best. Archana's personal best. For me to put my best foot forward is, this is what I need. That's my personal need. What are your needs? What are your needs to be the best version of you? And how is it that you can now create more of a balance between your work and your home front, your family obligations or family situations and relationships? And I don't want to say obligations. I mean, I love it. My son's going to be coming home for Thanksgiving. He's visiting home from Chicago with his girlfriend, and it's been years since my son left home. And I'm taking the whole week off. I'm not going to be doing any work. I'm not taking any readings. I'm going to be cooking and, hanging out with them and just chit-chatting and doing that. Like, I took last 2 days kind of off and cleaned my home and brought what I wanted to in my home front to create something for myself. Because today, for us, from Indian origin, is Diwali. Diwali is like Christmas. It is the Festival of Lights. And Festival of Lights is really about, the big message always is good over evil, but in a larger sense, I don't see that there's good or evil. I just know that it all comes from one. It comes from one source. However, for purposes of our living here in this third dimension, it is choosing that light in times of darkness. And today is such a special day. It's like Christmas. And in the morning, I don't know why. I was just sad and I was just crying. I think I cried for about 45 minutes. And I sat with it. And it's supposed to be a happy day. It's supposed to be all fun and excitement, and you dress up. I did. And you do a lot of things. But there was this part of me, and I have to accept that the light and the dark, that the cycles always exist. That in that moment, it was not darkness, it was a part of my shadow that was needing a bit of healing, a bit of love and attention, if you must, and I gave it that. Um, I went with a friend, and story of that later. We went to the temple, and when I went to the temple, the priest put this red thread and did some prayers, and it just made me feel like I'm back home. I don't see that because I live in another country, and this is my new home. But does it mean that I don't miss that or I don't have those moments? So what I'm going with all of this is that honor your feelings, honor what your heart is feeling at that time. That I couldn't pretend to be like all happy and let's just. I've done that in the past, but I couldn't do that today. And it was interesting that I got an email from one of the clients and she said the same thing. Archana, I don't know why, I'm just feeling so sad. I said, me as well. And it's completely okay. These are our cycles. Things that we've not addressed are coming up for integration and healing. So bringing balance in at the light and the dark, and not pretending to be one thing when you're feeling another. Okay, I think it's an important message, dual message for the energy of six, and creating balance between the light and the dark. Create balance between what you're doing just for yourself and also for another. Are you overgiving? Then this would be the time to look at that. It's time to give self-care. Or have you only been self-serving and not thought about others, or of for humanity, for a community, or for another person outside of your own family? Can we think of people outside of us and do something for another human being, just with no expectations, none at all? So today, as I went to the temple, it's just one friend, and I call her, and she tells me that all these spiritual parts that I suddenly say, hey, do you want to go to the temple? Hey, I'm going doing this. Do you want to do this with me? And she says, we're just feeling alone, and she doesn't have parents. She was orphaned at a young age. And she says that all this comes through you, Archana. And I just, she says, I'm going to cry. I'm like, don't worry, I cried in the morning. So, and we go there, and the priest says, is that? I said, yes, that's my sister. Sister as in human sister, right? So it was meant to be her and me together. And God chose me today to be that conduit, to help her to see that we're all connected and that we're all family. And it was such a beautiful feeling of connection, of coming together. And it's such a beautiful moment. And she's the one who took that picture and then outside the temple. I'm like, we're posing outside the temple. Archana, look to the left. I'm like, okay, is that my better side? Yes. So it's start thinking in terms of what's important. I realize it's so important for me today to be with her, to be with myself, to meditate in the morning, to honor the feelings that everything's not light, and it is new moon today. And I've written a manifesto. I'll share that with you when I'm in the more higher vibe. Today's a processing day as I'm planting seeds in this dark moon. I wrote a personal manifesto, and I'm going to be printing it and speaking it out into the universe every day. So I remind myself of the 11 things that I commit to embody. And a commitment to embody something does not mean that it will go according to plan, that it's okay when it goes off track. Yeah. So that's what I have. I was waiting to be in my super high vibe and cheery mood. I'm like, it's not coming. So I've gone to honor where I am, and I promise that I'll speak to you. I don't know if this live stream's gonna take forever to process, so whenever it comes in, but you know, hey, I just posted straight up for you. So I'm going to end by telling you that Diwali is one of my most prized, well, Holi brings in another one, but Diwali is very, very, how should I say it? It's a very deep festival for me. And I just get very emotional around that time, because every time I commit to putting, we call this, and I'll show you what I was doing. This is called a diya. Okay, it's made out of clay, and if you can see it, one time I'll put pictures so you can see it. And I'm adding butter. Well, it's called ghee. Okay, generally people make things at home, but that's generally okay. I still have some more cooking to do before evening sets in, and I light 100 diyas, 100 diyas, as in 100 flames of light. I don't want to cry. But in the darkness, it's hard to see the light. So today I want to leave you with this, that may this Diwali bring in light. May you always remember the light that is within. And always look to the light within. And with these other lights, I don't have those, the 100 diyas. Know that the light in another people are there to guide you when you feel like your own light is dimming. And may this Diwali, and may this light, and may my true intentions touch the hearts of all of you. May it bring in blessings of spiritual enlightenment, spiritual awakening. May it bring you blessings of abundance, of wealth, of love, of relationships, of happiness, of harmony, of peace, of self-belief, self-worth, self-confidence, determination, and abundance of creativity. May you birth the most beautiful projects that the world has ever seen, the geniuses that all of you are. So I send you all a lot of love, a lot of light, and a lot of happiness, okay? So from my heart to yours, I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.